Good evening. Welcome back to the Macbeth series. In tonight's episode, we will be discussing the topic of the witches in the play Macbeth, drawing a conclusion as to whether the witches shape the themes surrounding the play. Throughout this episode, we will be exploring the supernatural beliefs of the Elizabethan era, the purpose of the witches in the play, Macbeth's relationship with the witches, and we will also be describing how the three witches create a sinister and foreboding atmosphere. The Elizabethan era is the period of history in England during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. This period started on the 17th of November 1558 and ended on the 24th of March 1603. Many superstitions which took place in the Elizabethan era dated back to the traditions and beliefs from much earlier times. The superstitions revolved around the belief in old magic and the mystical properties of animals and herbs. The Elizabethan superstitions arose due to the immense fear of witchcraft and the persecution of witches. Women were generally accused of being witches over men. Out of 270 Elizabethan witch trials, 247 of them were women. During the Elizabethan era, people blamed unexplainable events such as the bubonic plague, unexplained deaths or unpleasant illnesses, the death of animals, and even bad harvest or crop failures, all on the work of the witches. The three witches play a pivotal role in Shakespeare's play Macbeth. The witches appear in Act 1, Scenes 1 and 3. At the beginning of the play, the three witches have an extremely important role in establishing the theme of disorder through the presence of the witches, along with the stormy weather and the bleak landscape. The witches were despised by the audience, and this brought a sense of fear into the play. The overall purpose of the three witches is to create a sinister and foreboding atmosphere within the play. The witches are essential to the plot of Macbeth because they provide Macbeth's call to action. Their prophecies drive Macbeth's thirst for power, and they also enable Lady Macbeth to pursue her own ambitions. Even though the witches do not knowingly tell Macbeth to kill King Duncan, they tempt Macbeth when they inform him that he is destined to be king. By placing this thought in his mind, they effectively guide him on the path to his own destruction. This all happens in Act 1, Scene 3, when the witches confront Macbeth and Banquo and say, "O hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter." Shakespeare did an extremely good job in establishing a sinister and foreboding atmosphere within the play. The witches were depicted to be ugly and evil up on stage. They had choppy fingers, skinny lips, and beards, all three characteristics that are abnormal for women. In Act 1, Scene 1, the witches were all together, and this was said, "When the holy battle is done, when the battle's lost and won." The implication from this line is that the witches are up to something naughty. The three witches' speech is written in short rhyming verses that imitates the casting of a spell, giving the audience the impression that they are powerful and evil as they can predict a battle. In the opening scene, the three witches discuss when to meet again. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? Shakespeare opened the play with this mysterious scene, and the three witches to set its tone throughout the whole play, letting the audience know it's going to be dark and mysterious. The presence of the witches communicates treason and also impending doom. With Macbeth being one of the main characters in Shakespeare's play, the witches have complete control over Macbeth's decision-making, therefore shaping the theme of the play. The everlasting relationship with Macbeth and the three witches is the foundation of the entire plot of the play. The first time Macbeth met the witches, he views them as honest and believes in them quickly. Macbeth is extremely attached to the witches as they awaken in his vaulting ambition to be king. The immense power of the witches does not get in Macbeth's path to hell in Act 2, Scene 1. Macbeth says, "Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee." This shows how much the witches shape the plot by creating a deadly illusion upon Macbeth in order to make sure that Macbeth doesn't sway from his vaulting ambition to become king. This is proof that the relationship with the witches and Macbeth triggered the most important events of the play. This bond between Macbeth and the three witches serves as the foundation of the play and a crucial stimulant to the plot. To conclude, the witches greatly shape the themes of Macbeth through the sinister and foreboding atmosphere they create, along with their special relationship with Macbeth. This is because of the evil superstitions that surround the witches, which help to create an unsettling and scary theme, just as Shakespeare wanted. Thank you for tuning into ABC's Shakespeare's Macbeth. We hope to see you again in our next series.